Most people who sort of found out about me through Low Hum events and stuff didn't even know the history and where that even came from, that I started as a photographer and it moved into a music magazine, and that's how I started touring bands. The real tour starts in Beijing, and then it's like 60 odd shows from then. So I guess I've just worked with Nick sporadically over the years. Yeah, so it was 2005 April, I guess, the first time I toured with him. At that time they hadn't actually done much touring. Maybe they'd played Christchurch and Auckland, maybe Wellington, so that was their first proper tour. And then just over the years, just as I've seen different lineups and as new albums have come out and I've got kind of excited about them, you know, I'll try and do something again. And for me, certainly it's the best I've ever seen a Shocking Pinks lineup.
CDs, like it's 1997.
How do you promote a band here? You know, I mean, like, you don't have access to any conventional platforms that band's been using their entire career to establish profile. You know, we had to re-upload videos onto Dubone sites and stuff, and we had to start, like, you know, using WeChat and was it Weibo? Weibo, yeah. And just an entire new way of thinking that really exists just for China. WeChat's phenomenal. Like, and I'm only just starting to realise how powerful it is. The bars here are awesome. One of the reasons I started Puppies was getting really inspired by these dive bars I'd see around the world. You know, we went to School Bar last night. They really nail it. New Zealand doesn't know how to do a dive bar. You know, and even Puppies was way too flash now. I'm going to bring squat toilets into New Zealand Day. The shows we've been to this week, watching other bands, the support is fantastic. Like, you know, people are here to see music, and that's one of my favourite things, is people aren't getting pissed, like they're not getting absolutely wasted. You know, at DMC, which blew my mind and totally got me excited, was it's about eating. Like, you know, that place is actually, people are eating and eating all night and just drinking, but they're absorbing all their alcohol with all this food they're eating, and like, no one's wasted the shows. There's no midstream here, which I think is kind of what I've decided. Like, there's definitely an underground and there's a big, massive mainstream, but there's no medium level, and it's like, without press and without infrastructure, it's really hard for that underground to reach a midstream. We didn't want to come to China and go into Beijing, then fly to Shanghai and fly to Guangzhou and just see the inside of bars. So it's quite important to actually spend a good amount of time here, just getting to understand the city, and everything is a sensory overload. I've never seen anything like this before, so just walking down a street is just constant bombardment with awesomeness. You know, I mean, just getting around is a struggle. It'd be very difficult if you came here and you didn't know anyone. Like, if you just like dropped into Beijing and you didn't know a single person here. It's just that language barrier. Our amazing host here, Nevin, has been kind of taking us out each night, and we kind of experience the food from a different province. Last night we did hot pot, and it was kind of all going sort of sweet as until, like, I don't know, I must have grabbed something that had been sitting in the spicy side for just too long, and I just inhaled it, and suddenly my mouth just went on fire and my nose just started bleeding and it just started gushing all over the place. And it will be exciting to come back here in 20 years time. God, if I even remotely care about music in 20 years time, if I'm even alive, I'm pretty old. You know, I'm too old for this shit. But maybe 20 years time I'll come back and I'll like do the Great Wall of the Forbidden City and just be a tourist. And maybe I'll pop into a live music bar and go, oh, what? Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch with a close eye the progress of the Chinese music scene.